Hello, everyone, and welcome to an exciting webinar series on Amtrak Vacations with Glacier National Park by rail. I am your host, as well as train conductor, Tyler Wallinger, and I'm excited to take you on a virtual train tour through Glacier National Park, which is the majestic and most beautiful national park, in my personal opinion, in the U.S. National Park Service. But before we begin and leave out of our virtual train station, I did want to talk about our two distinct Yankee Leisure Group brands. To our left is Amtrak Vacations. Now, Amtrak Vacations is the official tour operator for Amtrak, and Amtrak has been moving passengers on its rail system for over 50 years. But with Amtrak Vacations, not only do we take care of those rail accommodations on board, like coach, roomette, bedrooms, family bedrooms, and so on and so forth. We also take care of those lodges in those popular U.S. national parks like Glacier, Grand Canyon, Yellowstone, even Yosemite, to name a few. We also take care of those city getaways, such as Boston, Washington, D.C., Savannah, Chicago, Seattle, even San Francisco, just to name a few, and as well as popular rail experiences like on the California Zephyr, the Empire Builder, or even the Coast Starlight. But we also take care of those hotels, sightseeing tours, rental cars, transfers, ferries, and so much more. Again, making it easy for you to have a wonderful dream vacation by rail. And then to our right is Rail Bookers. Now, Rail Bookers is an international brand where we travel to destinations such as Canada, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, and beyond. But did you know, folks, we also do Alaska by rail. So if you're thinking about traveling to Alaska and see Denali National Park, or even visiting Fairbanks and seeing the Northern Lights, we got you covered here at Rail Bookers. Again, we take care of those rail accommodations, sightseeing tours, hotel stays, and so much more. But today we're going to be talking about Amtrak Vacations and why do travelers such as yourselves love Amtrak Vacations? Well, first and foremost, we are the rail experts, here to provide our rail expertise and knowledge to ensure that you have the best vacation possible. Also, we could book all of our rail vacation packages as early as today and as far out as 2023. So again, if you're looking to travel for the holidays this year, maybe see some family and taking the train and maybe visit some places around the way, we got you covered there. Or maybe you're looking to do a bucket list trip with the family for next year, seeing Glacier or visiting Grand Canyon, or maybe you want to see a couple cities and see maybe do a transcontinental experience, for next year. Again, we got you covered. We also offer maximum flexibility. So if you're thinking about traveling next year and you want to visit destinations and you want to go at your own pace and maybe you want to expand it for any length of time, wherever the train goes, so do we. We offer the largest rail vacation selection to choose from luxurious rail experiences such as the Rocky Mountaineer or the Venice Simplon Orient Express or the Royal Scots, any type of rail vacation destinations around the globe, as well as multi-country journeys. So if you want to travel within the U.S. to go up to Canada, or you want to go into Europe and see multiple different countries, or even you want to extend your cruise and take a train vacation beyond those cruise port cities. Again, we can customize our rail vacations based upon what you're looking for. And last but not least, there is no rail trip that's too complicated for us, because where it's confusing for most, again, it's very simple for us because it goes back to our major point. We are the rail experts. Now, what options are available with Amtrak Vacations? Well, just and foremost, folks, we can add on any destination to our package. So for perfect example, let's say you want to visit the Grand Canyon, but after the Grand Canyon, you want to head over to maybe visit Sedona or head over to Las Vegas or even Los Angeles. We can add on any destination to your package. Maybe you want to add on extra nights and see more of the national park, like visiting Yellowstone. You maybe instead of doing 2 nights in the package, you want to do 3 or 4 nights. We can definitely add on any extra nights towards your stay. Maybe you want to make it round trip from your hometown. Believe it or not, a lot of people are actually taking the train versus flying this year. They want to take the train from their hometown, and Amtrak services over 500 plus stations right within the United States. So you could be surprised departing close to your hometown and making this a whole rail vacation trip for you and your family. We can upgrade those rail tickets from coach to business class, or from business or coach class up to a private sleeping accommodation on board, as well as adding on additional sightseeing tours or upgrading those sightseeing tours to fully private tours. Now, why is it important for you to book now with Amtrak Vacations versus later? Well, I'm going to tell you, we offer our maximum flexibility offer. And this is, folks, one of the best offers in the world, I have to say. Their maximum flexibility offer allows you folks to be able to book with confidence. So if you do need to change your travel dates, change the duration of your vacation, or even the destination of your vacation, you can do so with us without incurring any change or cancellation fee. Folks, you heard me right. No change or cancellation fees. Again, this offer is only valid between now and January 4th of next year. So if you're starting to think about planning the next dream vacation by rail with the family during the holidays, this is a great time to book. But where can you travel to by train? As you can see here, folks, there are so many great destinations you could travel to by train here at Amtrak Vacations. As I mentioned before, you can go visit those national parks. Maybe you want to take a short getaway trip with the family and see, Washington, D.C. or New York City, or even go down to Florida and visit, Miami and see the Everglades. Again, there's so much you can be able to do with Amtrak Vacations. All you got to do is just give us a call at 1-800-268-7252 or even reach out to your local travel advisor. Now, folks, as we're going to be talking about Glacier National Park this webinar, I did want to talk about some amazing packages that we feature with Glacier National Park. And this is our first package. We're going to talk about our virtual train tour today, which is our Glacier National Park Express package. It starts in the beautiful windy city of Chicago, where you get to be able to stay with us there for 2 nights at the beautiful Drake Hotel. Now, the Drake Hotel is a 4-star luxury property located right on the Magnificent Mile, very close by to all the major museums and attractions that you can be able to enjoy while visiting and staying in the city of Chicago with us for 2 nights. And one of the sightseeing tours you can be able to enjoy with us is the Willis Tower Sky Deck experience. Again, takes you up to the top of the tower there, over 200 meters above sea level, and you get to enjoy and see all of the city has to offer, as well as seeing a few of the different states from the top. Very exuberating experience. And after time exploring the city of Chicago, you'll then travel over on board the Empire Builder from Chicago's Union Station over to East Glacier Station at East Glacier Park. Now, I did want to talk very briefly about the Empire Builder. Now, the Empire Builder actually got its name from the original founder of the Great Northern Railroad. So any rail enthusiast out there, such as myself, the Great Northern Railroad was the original line that traveled from Chicago all the way out to the Pacific Northwest. Why? To bring goods over from the West Coast to the East Coast. And James J. Hill, which was the original founder of the Great Northern Railroad, developed this line because to bring those goods over. And unfortunately, horse-drawn carriage was not going to be a sufficient way of transportation. So he developed this rail line, which most people didn't think was even possible, but he was able to do it. And he built this rail line not only for the success of bringing goods over, but even passengers to visit more of the Pacific Northwest and even some of the national parks along the way. And they nicknamed James J. Hill the Empire Builder, and that name stuck for Ed to time, and it still stands time today as one of the most iconic and scenic railroads on board Amtrak. After your first night traveling on the Empire Builder, you arrive at East Glacier Station, and this is one of the few remaining log stations in the United States, folks. And inside the station is actually a small little museum dedicated to the Great Northern Railroad, which again was still the traditional way of traveling passengers to Glacier National Park. And once you get off the train, there is a transfer that is provided by the Glacier Park Lodge that will pick you up from the train station, take you over directly to the lodge. However, folks, of course, the lodge is so close to the train station. You can actually walk from the train station to the Glacier Park Lodge, an equivalent of 200 steps. So if you want to get your Fitbit out and do a nice little walk and enjoy the scenery, get in that fresh alpine air, smell the flowers in the garden here before you arrive at the front doorstep of the main lobby, that's a great form of exercise, I always say. By the way, folks, for those of you not know, the Glacier Park Lodge is an historical site. It was originally built back in early 1913 and it finished construction in 1914 after they established the Great Northern Wing here at of the lodge. And the Glacier Park Lodge offers a great amount of amenities, such as a heated pool. It's got its own golf course on site, which is the oldest golf course in the entire state of Montana. But also it's got a great northern dining hall here, which is, as you can see here, offering some panoramic views of Dancing Lady Mountain as you enjoy some breakfast or dinner at the lodge. But most people are not just enjoying the Glacier Park Lodge itself, they're also enjoying the sightseeing tours that travel throughout Glacier National Park. And one of the most popular that we do provide is the Big Sky Circle Tour that takes you from the Glacier Park Lodge and takes you in a full-length loop going through Glacier National Park. And these is getting on this historic red jammer buses, folks. I want you to realize this historic jammer bus is the traditional way when many passengers in the early 20th century would travel going through Glacier. These historic buses were built back by the White Motor Company in the early 1930s, and they still stand the time today of riding a historic limousine bus. And many people are so excited to take this because it got a new renovation a few years ago, and these historic buses are literally almost worth $250,000, if you can believe that. But the historic jammer buses will travel through the Marias Pass, which is how the Great Northern Railroad was able to go through the Rockies. You'll learn about the Goat Lick, which is a popular spot for wildlife, including the Rocky Mountain goats that are the national park emblem. You'll then head over to the west part of Glacier, going through Lake McDonald, get to go through the cedar and hemlock forests, and then of course go to the top of Logan's Pass as you're going through the switchback part of the Going to the Sun Road, which is the iconic part of Glacier, honestly. And at the top of Logan's Pass, you'll get to see, of course, the Continental Divide. You'll get to be able to sample some glacier water before you head back down the mountain and get to see St. Mary's Lake, get to see Jackson Glacier before you head back over to the lodge. So again, it's a full day experience and it allows you to get off the bus and enjoy and do some sightseeing and independence on your own as well. The next sightseeing tour that you get to be able to enjoy with us while visiting Glacier is our Two Medicine Valley Lake Boat Cruise. This is an historic boat cruise that was built back by the Swanson Boat Company in the early 1930s. There's actually a total of these 4 historic boat cruises. One of them is at the Two Medicine Valley Lake here. The historic Sinapa, which was the princess of the Blackfoot Indian Nation tribe, is dedicated to this boat here. And you get to be able to learn about the Blackfoot Indian Nation tribe, its history, its culture, and even also the geological features that make Glacier National Park so iconic. And in the afternoon, which I highly recommend, they do an afternoon guided hike with one of the national park rangers where you can be able to visit Twin Eagle Falls. So something I would highly recommend for those who are interested in doing some hiking. After time of experiencing Glacier National Park, you'll then hop right back on board the Amtrak's Empire Builder, going through, of course, Glacier National Park, going through also the Cascade Mountain Range before you arrive in the next morning to Seattle, which is, of course, the Emerald City here. While you're visiting and staying with us for Seattle, you get to check out all the city has to offer, such as the Space Needle, the Chihuly Garden and Glass exhibit, maybe do an Argosy hour cruise of the bay. And one of the hotels you could stay at with us is the Warwick Hotel, which is a 3-star property located to the Space Needle and the Chihuly Garden and Glass exhibit. But one of the other optional add-on tours we recommend for passengers to enjoy is if you're going to be visiting a national park, maybe add on another national park and say, hey, visit 2 parks in one trip. I always recommend. And one of the national parks, which I highly suggest, is Olympic National Park, which is a day trip we do offer from Seattle. It is classified as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And also, of course, too, you get to be able to see the Roosevelt elk, which was almost extinct. You can see river otters. You get to be able to go to the coastline there and see the orca whales. Again, so much to be able to offer in that day trip to Olympic National Park. So again, this is our Glacier National Park Express package, folks. It is 10 days, and look at the starting price, $3,299. So great value with what you're being able to get with this package. Again, you get the full-length route of the Empire Builder. You get 2 nights in Chicago, 3 nights in Glacier, and 2 nights in Seattle, as well as sightseeing tours and each destination. All right. Now, the grand of them all, the grand national parks with Yellowstone, Yosemite, and Glacier National Park. Folks, this is one of our most popular packages that we're seeing being booked for 2022 and even as far as 2023 goes. So if you're thinking about traveling, you know, in your home in your home state or your home country, whatever that may be, and you really want to be able to see as many national parks as possible, this is a great package for you. Again, it allows you to see 3 national parks, and you could do 3 of the iconic routes with Amtrak, such as the California Zephyr, the Coast Starlight, and the Empire Builder. And it's round trip from Chicago. But We can customize it, start from your hometown as well. So again, you'll start from us in Chicago, as at Chicago's Union Station, and climb on board the scenic California Zephyr train, traveling, of course, through the Great Plains of Nebraska, Iowa, and then you arrive into Colorado and going through the Colorado Rockies. They just time it perfectly that you get to be able to go through the Rockies during the day, going through some canyons, getting to go through the Red Rocks of Utah before you arrive into Salt Lake City and stay at the Little America Hotel. This is where you'll stay with us for one night and then head up via transfer to Yellowstone National Park, which is our nation's and the world's first national park, which was established by USS Grant in the mid 1800s. And one of the hotels that you could be able to stay at with us is the Yellowstone Explorer Cabins. This is a beautiful property, giving you that lodge experience, but also that cabin rustic feel. They also have great fire pits outside, so if you want to roast some marshmallows and s'mores and maybe sing some campfire tunes with the family, this is a great a spot to stay at with us. And then, of course, you get to be able to check out the park during the day, which we do provide sightseeing tours that allow you to do a nice small group tour to visit Old Faithful. You get to visit the Grand Prismatic. You get to be able to check out the Lamar Valley, where it's a very famous spot for wildlife such as bison, elk, deer, and even moose, as well as bald eagles and gray wolves. After time exploring Yellowstone, you'll then head back down to Salt Lake City to reboard the California Zephyr train, heading out further west, going through the Donner Pass, which is a very historic spot. You also get to see the Bay Area and before you arrive into San Francisco. And in San Francisco, you'll stay out there with us for a few nights to get to check out the Bay Area, get to be able to stay at the Hotel Zephyr, which is, ironically known as one of the best hotels to stay at with us in San Francisco, very close to Fisherman's Wharf, and also very close by to where they do the turnaround table for the cable car. So again, a great property to stay at. And if you're in San Francisco and you like trains as much as I do, highly suggest the historic cable cars. Definitely one of a lifetime experiences. You're traveling through some about 9 miles per hour. It feels like sometimes almost much more than that as they're going through the streets. As you get to see some of the some of the scenery such as Chinatown, you get to see the Golden Gate Bridge, Ghirardelli Square, and even of course as you're heading back down, you can be able to see the Bay and even Alcatraz in the distance. One of the most popular sightseeing tours we do provide is a day trip from San Francisco to visit Yosemite National Park, which is our nation's third national park and was originally protected and preserved by John Muir, who reached out to Abraham Lincoln to preserve the park, as we all love and know today. Yosemite is very famous for not only Half Dome, but El Capitan, Tunnel Meadow. You get to be able to visit Mariposa Grove, which is the famous spot for the redwood trees. You can be able to visit the Majestic Hotel, or now they transferred back to the Ahwahnee for some lunch or maybe some afternoon tea while you're there. And after time exploring Yosemite and even seeing San Francisco and the wharf area, you can then travel on board the Coast Starlight, heading northbound to Seattle, going through the Cascade mountain range and seeing some amazing lush lakes, rivers, and even waterfalls along the way. And this is honestly one of my favorite parts about the trip, is actually going through the mountain range, seeing the emerald alpine forests, and even something that I have to say I was very fortunate enough to check out when I was on the Coast Starlight a few years ago with my wife. We got to see bald eagles, folks, bald eagles up close to the train. It was sitting on one of the posts. It was a perfect spot to see our nation's bird. It really was a great sightseeing to see. And then you'll arrive into Seattle right close to 8 o'clock in the evening, and you can still be able to have some time to check out the city, maybe have dinner at the top of the Space Needle, or even take a nice little cruise the following morning around the bay, maybe check out the Pike's Place Market, get some great seafood before you climb on board the Empire Builder, heading eastbound over to Glacier National Park, where you get to be able to stay with us there for a few nights and check out all that Glacier National Park has to offer, such as you get to be able to visit Logan's Pass. You can check out Lake McDonald, which, by the way, with our Big Sky Circle tour, you get an optional lunch opportunity at Lake McDonald Lodge. Highly recommend that while checking out Lake McDonald, and even seen the Rainbow Pebble Beach, something a little tip to suggest. So folks, that is our grand national parks with Yellowstone, Yosemite, and Glacier National Park. It is 15 days starting at $5,799. It includes all that you see here and more with this great rail vacation itinerary. Now, I did want to talk about briefly, folks, is what is life like on board Amtrak? Well, first I want to talk about what the packing requirements are for the train. So each passenger is able to bring on 2 free carry-on bags per person, as well as 2 free checked bags per person. Carry-on bags under 25 pounds per bag, as well as checked bags under 50 pounds per bag. Here's another beautiful thing, folks. Luggage can be checked in 45 minutes prior to departure. What airline can offer that? Think about the delays, think about the security checks and having to go through the baggage claim and having to go through the baggage requirements and restrictions. Folks, packing for the train is easy, simple, and traveling by train is a leisurely way to see the country of ours. Definitely America the Beautiful was inspired by taking a rail trip. But you get to travel on board. Again, there's several different classes of accommodations. The first is coach class here. Again, very comfortable, very spacious. So it's like something you would sit in either in business or first class on the airplane. Again, very plush seats that do fold down to a 45-degree angle, large picturesque windows to enjoy those vistas and views on the train. You got a fold-out tray table there so you can enjoy some snacks or beverages at your seat. Power outlets, reading lights, air quality control, and extra space for luggage. No longer you have to try to cram your luggage in those main cabin compartments. Now, I did want to talk about the important details of upgrading to a private sleeping accommodation and why it's important to book your private sleeping accommodations now versus later, last minute. So first is priority boarding. When you upgrade to a private sleeping accommodation, you get priority boarding versus regular coach or business class passengers. Second, you get the privacy of your own door. So as soon as you are, in your roomette or in your bedroom, as soon as you shut that door, you're able to remove your mask and enjoy the journey, right? And another thing I also like to mention, if you are upgraded to a private sleeping accommodation, either via roomette or a bedroom, you can bring on your own alcohol beverages. That's something my wife and I have done in the past, where we brought on a couple bottles of wine, had a little slice, a little wine and cheese tasting in our roomette, and just enjoyed the scenery along the way. You also have your own dedicated car attendant that's there to serve you throughout the journey, taking care of turn down service, making sure your room is kept clean and tidy, taking care of additional pillows, blankets, toiletries, bottled water, coffee service, as well as if you wish to have your dining delivered to your private sleeper, you can certainly have that arranged, or you can enjoy the comfort of your dining experience in the traditional way in the dining car, right? And the dining car has been opened since Wednesday of June 23rd of this year, which we're so excited about. So everyone is now being able to enjoy those fine dishes such as the Amtrak signature steak or that Amtrak railroad French toast. All of that is, of course, freshly cooked, prepared by the Amtrak chefs. Now, the first accommodation I want to talk about on board the train is the roomette. Now, this is the most economical of the sleeping accommodations on board. However, it is the one that gets booked the most. So if you are thinking about doing a roomette on the train, definitely book this well in advance, at least 6 months to a year in advance. That is what we always recommend here at Amtrak Vacations. So the roomette is 2 seats facing one another during the day, and it folds into a bunk bed style configuration for 2 at night. It does sleep up to 2 adults. However, this is also a great option for a solo passenger. You can fit about 1, maybe 2 small suitcases in your room. However, there are, of course, luggage racks across the hall. And then you will be able to use the private restroom and shower facilities across the hall. The room length is 6 feet 6 inches by 6 feet 8 inches, and the room width is 3 feet 6 inches. Now, if you want a little bit more space, we could upgrade to the bedroom. Now, the bedroom is about 2 times larger in size than the roomette, and there's usually about total 5 bedrooms per carriage. So just be aware, of course, folks, some trains, they do fill up quite quickly, especially some of those East Coast trains like the Cardinal or the Capital Limited, or even some of those other trains like the Coast Star. Those do fill up quite quickly first. So I highly recommend, if this is something that you're looking to do, book with us at least a year in advance with the bedroom accommodations to get the best price and the best value. But with the bedroom during the day, it's a couch with a nice captain's chair during the day. Again, large picturesque window to enjoy those vistas and views. You also have a luggage rack here, and you also have your own private ensuite with bathroom and shower included. Again, this does sleep up to 2 adults. However, it's a great option for a solo passenger. And the room length is 7 feet 1 inches by 7 feet 6 inches, and the room width is 6 feet 6 inches by 6 feet 8 inches. Now, for those who need additional assistance, we do recommend the accessible bedroom. Again, very similar to the regular bedroom, except it's more inclined for those who need additional assistance, either with a wheelchair or a walker. So again, there's usually one of these per carriage. So normally on average, about 2 to 3 of these per train. So if this is something that you want or need, please let our team know as soon as possible by giving us a call at 1-800-268-7252. And with that, I did want to talk about our eligible discounts that you may be able to be taken advantage of. Our first is our children's discount, which is age 2 to 12 receive 50% off of the rail. Seniors age 65 and older, again, you're now in that retirement age. Enjoy the time to travel. You receive 10% discount also on the rail, as well as our military, both active duty military or as well as retired military personnel. Their spouses and their family can receive 10% discount on the rail portion. So all you got to do is just give us a call at 1-800-268-7252 to be able to receive those discounts. And with that, I just want to say thank you so much for attending today's virtual train tour. We are at the end of the line, and I hope all of you have a wonderful and train-tastic day. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call. Again, that number is 1-800-268-7252, or contact your local travel advisor. On behalf of myself and Amtrak Vacations, as well as Rail Bookers, I wish you all a wonderful and train-tastic day/week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.